What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here's Legitical Response. We cover political news, and folks, we got a very disturbing news article for you today. Yeah, if you're faint of heart, I would go ahead and switch off this video, but of course you probably saw by the thumbnail, yeah, this touches on a very, very deep problem that we have going on in this country, and is one of the reasons why I say the Biden administration is destroying our nation, is destroying our country, is destroying our border, for goodness sakes. It's destroying people's lives, just outright, full stop, put a period on the end of it with an exclamation point. Yeah, it's destroying people's lives. Check this out. Whistleblowers detail how 85,000 unaccompanied minors went missing after Biden admin dropped them off with sponsors. This story is utterly stomach-twisting, if you will. It made me nauseous that I had to delay coming out here to record this. And I'm still nauseous about this because it's sickening. Here we go, y'all. The Department of Human Services has lost at least 85,000 children who crossed the border illegally as unaccompanied minors after placing them with sponsors who may be trafficking the children into prostitution or forced labor, according to multiple government whistleblowers who laid out the process to a Senate panel Tuesday. What? And the government is complicit with this, right? Complicit, right? Like, I've talked about this before. Dr. Phil went on The View and was talking about how government agents are trafficking children into sex trafficking rings, and nobody has refuted it, right? Now the whistleblowers are coming out to a Senate panel talking about this. This is utterly insane. It's absurdly insane, to put two pejoratives together, if you will, that the government is doing nothing about it. And you will never guess the reason why the Biden administration shrugged off vetting some of these people. It's just absurd. We'll get into it. I'll wait for my remarks until then. Check this out. Whistleblowers assigned to process minors near the border said that children were being placed with people who clearly were not their relatives, and when there was evidence of abuse and trafficking. What? One whistleblower assigned to process minors near the border said that after a group alerted supervisors to the fact that children were being placed with people who clearly were not their relatives, and that there was evidence of sadistic abuse, the Biden administration's DHS Office of Refugee Resettlement took her off the job and retaliated against her instead of acting on the facts that they had uncovered. So instead of being like, oh my God, are they really doing this? They fired the lady for bringing that to their attention. What? That is why I say the Biden administration is evil, abject evil, for doing this, for everything that they're doing with that border, everything that they're doing with social media, and pretty much a lot of what they're doing. I'm not going to say everything, because they did bring those junk bank fees down to $8. That's a good thing. But this is just beyond the pale, if you will, right? To knowingly put children in a place, unaccompanied minors. Imagine how horrific that must be for a child to be trafficked by one of these cartel coyotes that do this for a living, as a matter of fact. Like, where are these kids' parents, by the way? It's just mind-blowing that the Biden administration will take these kids and then just put them right back into that situation, right? Like, not all of it. It's a low percentage of the total amount. But, yeah, the Biden administration lost 85,000 children, right? They placed these children in a supposedly safe home, right, without vetting the people, and then lost track of these kids. They don't know where they went. And Biden refuses to do anything. He refuses to shut down that border because, obviously, now this may sound like hyperbole, but he wants this to continue. The Biden administration apparently shoveled children out to their homes of poorly vetted volunteers as fast as it could to avoid holding them in secure facilities. Joe Biden had painted those as his rival Donald Trump, putting kids in cages, and wanted to avoid those optics at all costs, Senator Chuck Grassley said. So, okay, there you go, folks. If there's any argument at all that the Biden administration is evil, right? If there's any argument that you got against the Biden administration being evil, I should say. I said that wrong. Let me know right now, please. Down in the comments section, please let me know how the Biden administration is not evil. You're going to take abused children that have been trafficked to the United States and then place them with people you don't know who the hell they are. How utterly absurd is this? And you wonder why Republicans aren't doing anything about it, right? Like, they held a panel to bring this to light. But are they holding the Biden administration accountable? Right? Republicans impeached Alejandro Mayorkas, who is in charge of all this, by the way. But guess what? The Senate won't even take that up. They could care less. Don't know, don't care. Don't talk to me about it. That's the Senate Democrats' attitude about this. Don't know, don't care. Go to somebody else. Here's a quarter. Call somebody who gives a damn. That's what Senate Democrats say. Could care less that these people are trafficking children into possibly sex trafficking rings or for pornography. Yeah, and there's evidence of this, by the way. But Biden's alternative, as detailed by government employees tasked with personally interacting with those children, was far less humane. 500,000 children were flown or bused to the homes of people who were sometimes strangers. The Biden administration loosened rules on background checks. What? Like, this is nuts. DHS's oversight amounted to a single phone call to the children 30 days later. By that time, many of the children could not be reached. They were simply missing. The panel was perhaps the most devastating in the history of the border crisis, so much so that the Democrats who control the Senate apparently refused to cooperate, leading Senator Grassley, Bill Cassidy, Ron Johnson, and John Cornyn to hold it unofficially. What? So the Senate Democrat, these people are evil as well, could care less about this situation. Oh, it's just Republicans bitching about something again. Who gives a damn? You know, they'll probably call these whistleblowers criminals or something. Leave it to a Democrat to just be utterly evil. Just abandon all principles and just let it fly right out the door because a Republican said it. And Republicans are the evil ones, right? Yeah. This is just nuts. And if this doesn't enrage you, there's something wrong with you. Let me know about it down in the comments section. Tara Lee Rodas has had a 20-year career in the federal government and volunteered to go to the border when the Biden administration put out an all-hands-on-deck call for employees from any agency because the border was so overwhelmed. Rodas speaks Spanish, and her husband is from El Salvador, so she signed up to help the kids. She worked at the Pomona Fairplex Emergency Intake Site, which processed 8,300 minors, as deputy to the director of the Federal Case Management Team. But Rodas's career is in training government investigators, and when she got there, all she saw were red flags. One 16-year-old Guatemalan girl named Carmen was sent by the Biden administration to live with someone who claimed to be her brother, but pictures on social media showed him touching her sexually. It was clear her sponsor was not her brother, she said. Soon, Carmen was advertised on the sponsor's social media with her shirt unbuttoned, looking drugged up. Her sponsor also posted child pornography to the social media. What the f***? Other children were turned over to live with known gang members, she said, a far cry from the careful vetting involved in the typical adoption process. In September 2021, she sent an urgent do not release advisory warning to the agency and Cherokee Federal not to release a particular child who was slated to be sent to a known gang member, but it knowingly did so anyway. Once again, the government is complicit in trafficking children into sex trafficking rings. Makes me sick to my freaking stomach. When I reported the MS-13 case and provided evidence that other MS-13 and 18th Street gang members were sponsoring children, OOR retaliated against me, Rhoda said. Days after flagging the gang-affiliated sponsor, she, not the gang members, was placed under investigation and physically escorted off the job, she said. What in the ever-living is going on with this? This is absurd. And right now, I'm calling for Republicans to write up some articles of impeachment and impeach Joe Biden for this. I just want to know how any of these people that know about this can look at themselves in the mirror. Let me know down in the comments if they can. This turns my freaking stomach to know that the government just says, okay, screw it. It's a gang member. Who cares? Knowingly let these children go off to live with gang members. What in the ever-living F? Why are we allowing for this? This is utterly absurd. Don't know how many times I can say that. But, you know, when I heard Dr. Phil start talking about this, that the government was complicit in allowing children and in putting children in with sex trafficking rings, I was like, come on now. It's Dr. Phil, but, you know, this is an utterly absurd statement. But, you know, if these whistleblowers are telling the truth, which, why would they not be? Like, you know how much trouble somebody could get in for making up a story like this? Wow, is all I could say, because we need some investigations, folks, and we don't need any Democrats. Democrats should pat themselves on the back for the cult that they have. That's what I'm going to start calling. I'm just going to outright start calling Democrats cult leaders. They're Democrat politicians are all cult leaders because they lie, they cheat, they steal, they allow for sex trafficking, for kids to be put into sex trafficking rings. And it's just utter absurd that they can still look themselves in the face and say, I'm doing a good job. I'm fighting for the little guy. I'm fighting for free speech. I'm fighting for children all over the world. These people are outright evil. Once again, my stomach is starting to turn again. I'm getting sick to my stomach. So y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day.